Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the FBRL Hardee's National Series round number 15 here at Darlington. We're here for pre-race practice, as I'm going to crack open a cold one. Going to be broadcasting practice here to make sure there are no particular hiccups, in case any adjustments need to be made. Ran tests the other day. Settings seem to be fine. Don't know if anything changed within the last couple of days, so any problems in the chat, just let me know as best I can. There's only some things you can adjust on the fly, unfortunately, without having to restart the entire damn thing. But it is what it is. We'll be running the full practice, then we will run through qualifying, and then we will back save and then back out to put in the adjust the order for the provisionals. And that's all I got. Do our best to keep up with the board, the practice board here. Diego Yepes was the first car to come out of pit road. This 81 team quite eager to get some laps down the track to get their car prepared for the weekend. Yepes, who last time we saw him in this 81 car, finished in the top 10 at Tokyo. One of the better runs this 81 team has had this year. But currently the 81 sits just a couple points above the top 30 in owners points. A couple strong runs over these past couple weeks have helped them get out of danger a little bit there. As Tim Fiegel and Galen Downey get together. Racing for position here as Noah Hard comes up in front of the 81. A little dangerous, but no harm, no foul, I guess. Tim Fiegel in the 87. I want to talk about a team that could use some help. Now, these past couple of weeks have gone for this 87 team, dropping below the top 30 in owners points. And now coming into Darlington, just a couple points behind the 75 of Joshua Michaels. But it's been an interesting year for Fiegel. Scored his first top 10 for the team back in Nashville, but has been kind of quiet outside of that here. It's been a really weird year for the Sanders Performance Autosport team. All three of their cars have finished in the top 10, some of them multiple times, but yet they still sit here in the top 30 Norris points battle. They only got one full-time driver, so Fiegel's the only one that you can really gauge based on driver points on his performances, because the 90s had to have a couple of changes. The 81 is the all-star car. See, Dom Capps is top of the board. Where is he on the racetrack? He is battling with Jesse Turner on track right now. Two longtime FBRL veterans, Turner and Dom Capps. Capps currently fastest in practice by a 10th over Malik Nevins in the 96. Probably helps he got a little bit of draft from Turner, but take what you can get, to be honest. Jesse Turner, the Sony Cup Series champion, making his first start of the year and the 5th start for this number 99 team, excuse me. Originally, this 99 was driven by Huck Davis with a different number, and they failed to qualify for the first 4 races of the year. They decided to change their plans and cancel their full-time effort for this car, and decided to bring it back for Darlington with Turner at the helm. Turner, who actually won at this race for Spartan Motorsports last year in a dominating performance, driving number 64 at the time. But Spartan has moved on from Ford since then. Turner would like to get his team a win in the Hardee's National Series. Bishop has been so far the only person to win for TPR this year. Turner would definitely like to change that. I think everybody has put a lap time by now, indeed. Jeff James and Nick Breeding battling here. You got 2 of the top 4 in points going at it right here in practice. Could be a preview of things to come. Right now, Breeding is the fastest between the 2 here in practice with a 23.328 compared to Jeff James with a 28.39. So not a big difference as Breeding comes to pit road. He's going to look to make some adjustments here. I don't think that 9 team is very happy with the handling of that car at the moment. Can't say I blame them. There's Voiles and Ricky Freeman Jr. Samuel England. Freeman drove that 64 last week. However, it is Samuel England in the 64 this time, hoping that this time the engine lasts past the lap 35 mark. Voiles currently sitting. So this is Daniel Voiles going to be his 2nd start driving for Gallon Downey Incorporated here in the 65 car. Didn't exactly do that hot in Memphis, despite a solid qualifying effort. But Voiles did manage to qualify into this race on pace alone. So we'll be expecting him in the 65 a couple of times. And he'll be also flip-flopping between the 11 and 96 over the next couple of rounds. England goes under Kyle Collins here. Boyle tries to follow in as well. Now, keep in mind, with these practice times, you have to factor in draft as a bit of a factor. So, times aren't exactly always going to be accurate unless someone comes out and decides to draft behind somebody for a couple of laps. And draft behind someone who is pretty close to them on the tire wear situation. See, Voiles in England really going at it here. I think this is the first time Voiles feels like he has a car that he can actually race aggressive with. Now, Gallon Down Incorporated, they haven't exactly had the best year, at least in comparison to last year, but It's a team that has taken the fight to a lot of really good teams, and I think Boyles is trying to join in on that mindset, a bit of a team spirit, if you will. There's Dylan Schwalberg in the 22. Currently taking it quite easy in practice at the moment here. This is Schwalberg's first start since Iowa. And this is a 22 team. And keep in mind, this 22's been out on track for a while, so that's why it's a bit slow. Older tires. I think the 22 team is looking for a long run car this weekend. But, man, what a rough past couple of months it has been for Fisher Motorsports, man. Especially this 22 team. I think it's been almost 10 races since this team has finished better than 15th. Speaking of this 22 car, I mean. The last time they had a finish in the top 15 was with Dylan Schwalberg at Iowa, so it has been quite a while. You have to imagine Fisher's literally excited to have him back for this weekend and the following race at Wisconsin, I believe. Here's Breeding back out on track. Came to pit road to make some adjustments here, trying to see if this will help him out a little bit. You have to feel that for Nick Breeding, the pressure's starting to pick up a bit because we're heading towards the end of the year, and the gap between him and Corey Williams has not really gotten much smaller. Breeding is just over one race behind in the 9 car, and he's gonna need some big runs here if he's want to catch up to Corey Williams, who has been just almost unstoppable this year. And Breeding, oh, he's approaching a gaggle of cars, so this could be fun. Oh no. Breeding goes under a lot of guys here. There's a couple of guys here who are out on track and still haven't come back to pit road, so. Breeding was 15th. So far he has not managed to improve upon that time. But I think he just doesn't have anyone he can just draft off of behind for a couple laps to get a good lap time on. But for Nick Breeding, this could be a very important weekend here because, like we said, time is running out. If you want to catch Corey Williams, you really got to start putting in some big races here. And that's what Breeding did last year. I mean, he is the defending series champion. Led the points for most of the year. Almost lost it in the end, but held on. But I don't think he's had quite the competition that last year that Corey Williams provided. As Breeding went all the way up against the wall. Good lord, Breeding is pushing everything he's got. He really is trying to get this car settled in. There's Caps. Still the fastest car in practice so far. And Team Velocity, I believe, making their third or fourth start. And Caps has done really well so far in his H&S efforts this year. And at the moment, kind of the main hope for Mitsubishi to win a race this season here in the Hardee Series. Now, some of the big silly season news we've had over these past couple of weeks is Mitsubishi expanding their efforts a bit. Team Velocity, for more specifically, they're going to be heading up to the Hardee's National Series for next year. So You know, these races are quite important for their R&D situation to be prepared. And, oh, we got a wreck in practice. We got a massive wreck. Holy cow. Christian Vargas, Fiegel, and Hart are around, as is Tyler Commons. If there was a red flag, it would definitely be waved. Well, some guys are going to have to go to a backup for qualifying, it looks like. Noah Hardee was won the last 2 races. And Schwamberg as well. Let's take a look and see what happened here. That was just off of turn 4. So what happens here? Okay. Ooh, this started with Butcher and Goforth, apparently. Alright, let's see what happens here. Ooh, Marchese hit the back of the 8. That sent... Oh, nasty hit. That sent Butcher down the apron, and the momentum knocked him all the way into Cody Goforth, and you can see the mayhem with Dylan Young, Cameron Lessard, Noah Hart, Tim Fiegel, and Christian Vargas all getting involved. Malik Nevins in the 96 also involved. Let's follow with Marchese here. This was quite an incident. Good lord. Well, that happened. Ryan Butcher, he's, wow. He's back on track already. Well, I guess Butcher didn't need to go to a backup. I guess they just punched the damage in with a hammer. Maybe it's a form of cost saving? Who knows? Well, Marchese, the former series champion, not exactly the kindest return, I think, for... Now, it's practice, but, like, at the same time, remember Marchese back at Talladega? Yeah, that wasn't great. Marchese, the former series champion, I think he's gone every HNS weekend he's started in so far, getting involved in a wreck except for Homestead, I believe. Marchese comes back out on track. Cody Goforth, they have already rolled out the backup for the 92, it looks like. As has for Vargas and Commons, so... You gotta give this HNS team's credit, and oh, we got another wreck! What happened this time? Vargas is doing, oh no. Vargas is doing a lot, that's a line. I like that. That's a good line. I've seen that line before. So what happened now? This is a very fun practice here. Let me guess, some immersion to the pack, and then, yeah. Let's see, Corey Williams. He gets into the back of Sebastian Kukalon and Malik Nevins, and Dylan Young, who was already involved in the first wreck, he is going to a backup car. And Vargas with, I love that line. That's a good line. That's a good line. Well, Kukalon with heavy damage. Griffin Lapo McDermott with some heavy damage. And Little Falls Motorsports, they're going to be, that is going to be a very busy weekend at the Fab Shop this weekend, I think. Good Lord. And, oh, Lassard! Lane Sanders has decided to join the fun as this practice has gone out of control all of a sudden. Marchese now in a wreck. You know, people are missing the Sony Cup. The Sony Cup's right here. See, everyone checked up for the 75 of Michaels, and Sanders just clipped him. And Marchese hits his teammate. This is fun. We're having fun. You know, this is exactly how I pictured this going. Eight and a half minutes left in practice here. As half the field has gone to backup cars at this point, so, and for Dylan Young, he's currently on the backup car. Speaking of backup cars, this is going to be Dylan Schwalmer's third backup car. Let's just keep watching. You know what? You know, I was mildly upset for about 2 minutes. You know that? But I've decided that this is no longer a tragedy, it's a comedy. Kids, this is why you don't set your drafting distance to 1.1. So what happened with this one? Okay. Oh, we got teammate violence here. Okay. Okay, so Schwalmberg comes out on track here. All right, here we go. He's cooking. He's cooking. He's cooking. And he decides he wants to send Young to the fourth backup car of the night. And that's a heck of a pit lane merge. I gotta give him credit. At least they're consistent. So who hasn't gone to a backup car at this point? Oh, engine blown. I'm assuming that's from the 22. Nope, that's from Nevins, who, I mean, balls. Bradley Bishop Jr., who is doing the line that Vargas did. Well, that was interesting, 6 minutes. I mean, hey, 6 minutes, that's just 6 more minutes of Rex. So I think at this point, Little Falls Motorsports, so I think they've burned through their entire 57 inventory, and now they're probably going to have to get to the 75 team and be like, hey, we need one of your inventories, even though the 75 is also wrecked maybe once or twice. Maybe they can get one of the Spartan backups. It'd probably be faster. Dom Cap's back out on track for another run here. He's actually going to pit lane a handful of times. I wonder if they're really setting up for a short run here or trying to make a run for qualifying. I want to begin a new topic, but at the same time, I keep expecting a wreck to just happen at any second here. So there's the 57, and man, again, good thing there's an off week next week, because I think this 57 team's, I think the 57 part of the LFM garage is going to need the week to get these cars fixed up again. Goes Young underneath Sanders, and I think Young has had enough. He's just going to slap him on the side and just mosey on past. Well, this is interesting. Sebastian Kukulon and Corey Williams, who got together, which triggered one of the wreck, they are now back together. And I can't imagine Kukulon's too thrilled with Corey Williams. But that's okay. Kyle Collins is here to protect Mr. Corey Williams. And here comes another SkyTech car to come help. Although this time, Corey, I think just, yeah. Probably best to let him go. Probably. Less than 4 minutes to go here in the practice, and Dom Cap's still top of the board. The board has not really changed much here in the top 10, although Richard Johnson has actually managed to get into the top 10. So, good job. First start of the year for the Allen Family Racing Team, number 34 for this year. Dane Stinson will be driving this 34 for a handful of races this season. And Aria Carmona, she is... looked like she was maybe off the pace for a moment. Do we got something that says something? Ooh, Carmona's got a problem in the one car. She's got a fuel system problem. And I don't know why she didn't come to pit road. She had an opportunity, and now she's causing a massive blockade on the track right now. May want to bring the one in. Somebody gonna tell her? No? Alright. You know what, at this point, it is what it is. Two minutes to go here in practice. We are 2 minutes from qualifying. Griffin Label McDermott back out on track with a backup car. Freaking Arya. That is a choice right there. Ryan Reed, third in practice at the moment. How about that? And I see damage up ahead. There was debris on the track. You can't fool me. Alright, what was it this time? What was it now? Who did it? Who did it? I see you. Who did it? And Wallenberg is having one hell of a practice session as he slams the back of the 14. 1 minute to go here in the practice. We head towards qualifying. Cup drivers being menaces today. Well, despite the fuel damage, Carmona is fuel damage. Wow. Okay, fuel problem. Carmona is still top 10 on the board. Coming to the end of practice here. Lane Sanders. And the Scooby-Doo Cartoon Network Mystery Machine Mobile 13th. A team that definitely needs some fortune to go their way after what has been a difficult past couple of weeks. Qualifying will begin shortly. Unfortunately, we do not have the broadcasting rights to show you legitimate qualifying, so we are going to sit here. I'm going to drink this Monster Rehab tea lemonade. While we do qualifying. Now a reminder, we will have to save results after qualifying and set the order for the 4 cars that had provisionals. So,
drivers, to your cars.
Alright, welcome to qualifying. Somewhere they're doing laps. So I'm gonna drink this Monster Rehab tea lemonade. Hashtag sponsored. And we're going to live react qualifying here. So how's everyone doing tonight? Today I did my community service of stocking produce for 7 hours at the store I work at. Living the life. Here we go. First laps of qualifying, and Samuel England fastest on the first lap here, but who's going to be fastest on the second lap here? Sam England and Nevin's top of the board. Will we see a change here on the second lap? What's going to happen here? Goforth up to second. Bishop Jr. up to second. Richard Johnson top of the board in the 10 car. And he has taken pole position from Samuel England for what would be, I believe, his first pole of the year. I think that should be it. So Richard Johnson, you're top of the board unless something weird happens here. Sam England was on pole but lost it to second. Brad Bishop Jr., so 2 Joseph Strigley racing cars in the front 2 rows. And Nick Breeding 5th. Good qualifying effort for him. Nevin 6th, so 3 Strigley cars in the top 6. Cody Goforth 7th, Turner 8th, Kyler Commons with a really good lap 9th. Voiles 10th as well. Vargas in 11th here, and this is a very interesting qualifying. Corey Williams, your points leader, 17th, so not the best qualifying effort for him. Go to the bottom here. Now, this isn't going to be right, as we're going to have to make the edits here. Kyle Collins, 29.3.
Drivers, to your cars.
Holy cow, what the hell happened to Kyle Collins to have such a difficult lap? Jeff James, 39th. All right, we're heading back out. Practice has been saved, so we're going to adjust the lineup to put the proper order together here, so please bear with me here. This should take longer than a minute and a half. One second. So Kyle Collins, very difficult time. Good Lord, 29.3. What the heck happened? That's insane. Rodriguez and Lockrow, Jeff James, that's your bottom 4. That is a heck of a qualifying right there. I don't even know where to even start with that. So Adam Verlanius, he qualified 30th. He's going to start a little bit lower than that. Fortunate for him. Dylan Young will also be starting behind him as well. And that's a shame for Young. He qualified 23rd on speed, but he'll have to go back. Aya Carmona qualified 30 in the 30, low 30s, but she will have to go a bit lower than that. And then, let's see, final Provo was Fiegel. And Fiegel will be 39th. So pros were Fiegel, Verlinais, Dylan Young, and Arya Carmona.
Drivers, to your cars.
Well, let's try and get through this order while we can. Well, at least as best as we possibly can, I suppose. I'm not even sure what's the right cam for this one. Let's go with Beer Chase. So your front row, and your front row is Richard Johnson and Samuel England in 64. Row 2 is Bradley Bishop Jr., Dom Capps. Row 3, Nick Breeding and Malik Nevins. The row behind, Cody Goforth, Jesse Turner. Next row, Tyler Commons, Daniel Voiles, Christian Vargas, Noah Hart, Brandon Beal, and Daniel Bouchard, Dane Stinson, Sebastian Kukulon. Corey Williams, the points leader, starts mid-pack in 17th. Griffin Lapo McDermott on his outside. Dylan Poteet and RJ Bishop in the following row. Kev Shear and Dylan Schwallenberg. So Schwallenberg will be starting in the mid-pack and will have to drive that 22 towards the front. Ryan Reed, Anthony Marchese next to each other. Next row, Ellison and Downey. Next row, Diego Yepes, Stuart Gradden. Then Lane Sanders and Cam Lassard. Ryan Butcher with a very difficult qualifying effort. He'll start alongside Peter Onjack in the 27. Joshua Michaels in the 75 alongside the 90. Jeff James in the 4. Top 4 in points all the way in the back of the field. He'll be starting alongside Doug Locker. Eric Rodriguez with a difficult qualifying session along with Kyle Collins. So Curtis Racing, really difficult qualifying session for them. And your provisionals, Tim Fiegel, Adam Verlinais, Dylan Young, and Arya Carmona. They had to fix that fuel problem in qualifying. And we shall see where we go to from here.
Drivers, start your engines!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. 92 laps here at Darlington. 2 pit stops will be needed, pending this goes green the whole way, although granted how that practice session went, who knows how this will go. Richard Johnson, the longtime FBRL veteran, multi-time champion, one of the best of all time, but has not won the Hardee's National Series before. Can that change tonight for round number 15 of the FBRL Hardee's National Series season here at Darlington? Johnson clears England for the lead as Bishop Jr. sticks his nose in for second place. England falls to third, perhaps fourth here, as Bishop Jr. moves up to second place in the 11 car. The 11 team has been the star of Joseph Sirigli Racing this year, and this could be another good night for them as Bishop goes right past the 10 of Johnson to take the lead with relative ease. Here comes Breeding, now up to third. He's on the move in the 9 car. Breeding gets right underneath Richard Johnson here. And look at Cody Goforth up to fourth as well. This 92 has been bad fast over these past couple of weeks. but they have just not gotten some of the finishes that they have deserved. Whoa, Commons in England make contact as England slams the wall. Commons holds onto it, but England slammed the wall. Everyone's panicking to try and settle things out. Still green, but that was a nasty hit for England. That right side is going to be caved in. England and the Hardee series has just not been a very fun combination this year, it seems like, as his teammate Brandon Beal comes up down the inside. Well, that incident kind of shook things up a little bit, because now the top 15 or 14 has kind of separated a little bit here, although here comes Stinson in trouble. Here comes Bouchard to try and go past the 34. Stinson's having some issues in the 34 himself. What an insane start to this race here, and it is a gaggle of cars here in the back. And Bishop Jr., he lost the lead to Richard Johnson in the 10. So Johnson had a bit of a slow start, but he got the 10 car back moving and took the lead. Wonder if Bishop Jr. maybe made a mistake somewhere, or Richard Johnson just needed a few laps to get the tires warmed up. Because now Nick Breeding is up to second place, and Bishop Jr. is now trying to get the position back. Here comes Bishop on the inside of Breeding here, looking for second place again. But Richard Johnson flies out to a lead here. And Bishop could not complete the pass on Breeding. And here comes Goforth. Tyler Commons had one hell of a save in that 44 car, and running sixth here at the moment. This is the, I mean, again, granted, keep in mind, we're 8 laps in, but right now this is the best run that Tyler Commons has had in quite a while here in the Hardee series. Family Racing Team seems to have brought some solid cars this weekend. Although Stinson is in a bit of some trouble here. He is dropping down the order. He was in the top 8. He is about to fall out of the top 20. Actually, I think he just did. He did, so Stinson is falling. But the man on the move is Jeff James in the 4. He is up to 26th already. Actually, 25th. He got past the 81 of Yepes. Ooh, contact there between Turner and Stinson. Stinson, I think, is just trying to stop the bleeding right now in this 34 car. This has not been a good start to the night for him. Sam England, he's going to get back to the 44. He seems to have, the damage didn't seem to hurt him too bad. However, I don't think he's mad at Commons, because I think that was just a racing incident there. But I don't think England is really happy with how the start of the race went, as he's got Nevins all over his bumper now. 12 laps in, Richard Johnson continues to lead as Joseph Strigley Racing holds 1-2, with Dom Capps now up to third. He got past Cody Goforth and Breeding. As he mentioned in practice, Team Velocity is coming to the Hardee Series full-time next year in a 3-car effort. But they would love to see if they can get their first ever win early. And Capps has been really great this year in the 6 car, so It is a possibility. Bishop is starting to catch the 10. So right now the 11 is the highest car in Owners points for Dodge. So they're going to be wanting a good finish here for the Owners Championship to try and catch the 14. But at the same time, you got a feeling that they really want Richard Johnson to win here. This 11 car won earlier the year at Homestead with Malik Nevins at the helm. But they would love to get multiple cars in victory lane this year. How about Cody Goforth, man? Third. We saw a top 5 run from Goforth back at Tokyo a couple of races ago. And that was probably the most impressive race of his Hardee's career so far. And here at Darlington, he seems to have brought a rocket here in this U.S. Army Honda Accord. Battle for a lead here. Two long-time Sony Cup veterans are about to go at it for the lead here as Caps has caught the back of the 10 of Richard Johnson. Richard Johnson, who's in the twilight of his career, would love to add a Hardee's win to what has been a very impressive resume. This year has not been exactly what he hoped for, I don't think. This 10 team has had speed, but they have just been very unlucky. And he's going to have to work a little hard here as here comes Dom Caps to the lead in the 6 car as Mitsubishi and Team Velocity take the lead for the first time tonight. Dom Caps was the fastest in practice, and it is showing here in the 6 car. This 16 came to play tonight. But we've seen Richard Johnson get past the lead earlier. Can he reel the 6 back in? Christian Vargas in the 51 up to 5th. This 51 team had a really tough weekend in Memphis. And ever since they won those 2 races in a row, this 51 team has kind of lost some pace here, but they are back here at Darlington. And Vargas knows this is a very critical race here. There's your points leader, Corey Williams, sitting in 11th at the moment. He had a pretty difficult qualifying session, qualified 17th, but he's moved his way up to 11th at the moment. Corey Williams has over a race lead over second place of Nick Breeding. So the 14 team can drop some races on occasion. What they don't want is disaster. But this has been Corey Williams' strength this year. Just consistency. And every time something bad happens to them, they tend to rebound from it. I mean, let's think of, like, for example, Talladega got wrecked from the lead with Marchese, recovered to a top 20. Memphis last week, a restart violation, lost a lap, got it back on a perfectly timed caution, recovered to another solid finish. So this has been a team that has just non-stop this year overcome adversity, or at least made chicken salad out of what's the PG word for, what's the best way? Excrement. Sure, let's go with excrement. I don't know why I'm refraining from swearing. Meanwhile, Noah in the Sony Cup Series is last year was like, wanted to talk about having sex with a chicken sandwich. So, I mean, what am I even doing here? Anyways, Dom Caps is in the lead. Richard Johnson in second. And Johnson has not let the 6 pull away here. So, Johnson's staying in the hunt. But things have calmed here for the lead. As Commons and Vargas battle here. And you can see Corey, he's starting to pick up the pace a little bit in the 14. I think a top 10 run is on the cards for this 14 team, as long as they keep things clean. James Elson in a 93 running in 12th. Noah Hart 13th. Ryan Butcher 14th. Daniel Bouchard in 15th. Lance Sanders in the 97 and 16th. And Eric Rodriguez, he had a terrible actually, him and Jeff James, they both had really bad qualifying efforts. They've recovered to get into the top 20 already. Now Eric's going to lose 2 spots, but listen, it's the thought that counts. I think Jeff James actually might have a top 10 car tonight. It's just the track position's going to hurt him, which has been an all too familiar story for Jeff this year. They've lost a lot of points because of difficult qualifying sessions. Joshua Michaels, he's in 20th in the 75 car, and he's ahead of Jesse Turner. And look at this, the top 30 North Points battle, Tim Fiegel, who is in the 87, he's 31st. He's behind Joshua Michaels by only a couple of points. Fiegel's having one of his stronger runs, but Michaels in the 75, they've got some speed this weekend here. And Michaels is doing a really damn good job. He knows that this 75 team knows that they need to stay with Fiegel at all times. And they're putting on they're doing exactly what they need to do tonight. Top 25 here. Peter Onjak in the 27, 24. It's Dylan Schwalberg in the 22. Fisher Motorsports is having a real tough night tonight. Schwalberg's doing his best. You know, this isn't a case of the driver struggling. This is just a case of the car has been struggling for this 22 team for the past several months, so I'm sure Schwalberg has to be a little bit frustrated with how the car's performing right now. But maybe they can get something changed under pit road. Dylan Young in 57 on his 4th backup car. He is in 27th. He had to start with a provisional, so he has also moved up to 27th. Daniel Voiles had a good qualifying session as well, but unfortunately he's dropped to 27th, which is exactly what happened in Memphis. So Marchese in the 77 and 29th. Tough night so far for the former series champion. They've got to get that car adjusted. Dane Stinson's going to fall out of the top 30 here after a good qualifying effort. This 34 car is just struggling right now. And we got some surprises in the back here. Lessard struggling. Kev Shear is struggling. This is outside the top 30. Shear's having a tough night. Chase Marks in the 90. RJ Bishop, Kyle Collins, Gadlin, Downey, Kukulon. What on earth? Couple of good teams missing on subs this weekend here, and Kev Shear Racing Tech, they're not going to like this one, but their cars are bottom 2 in the field at the moment. Something has gone wrong with KSRT this weekend. They are just really struggling here, as is Downey. Fisher Motorsports just seems like they didn't come into this race prepared at all. But we are coming up on the first stops of the night, as Caps lead still with Richard Johnson just behind. For Johnson has not been able to come back on to Caps like he did with his teammate Bishop Jr. And how about Joseph Strigley Racing here? 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the running order at the moment. Corey Williams has cracked the top 10, passing Tyler Commons. He's now looking for Sam England. We're expecting pit stops at any moment here. As Cap stays in, Richard Johnson is going to play his first cards. He's going to undercut the 6 here and come to pit road first. Nick Breeding follows in as well. Lane Sanders in a 97 will come to pit road as well. So Dom Caps, you have to imagine they're going to respond to Richard here. Or not. Oh, wow. Team Velocity is going to let Caps go. They're going to let him go 2 extra laps. And he's not alone in this endeavor. Go for it. Beal and Commons will follow. So Caps, seems like they're going to roll the dice here and try to have the freshest tires in the field. After the pit cycle ends, we will check pit road times. So Caps comes to pit road. He will bring in Goforth, Beal, Commons, Hart. But this should be interesting here. 2 extra laps. I'm pretty sure that will be enough for Richard Johnson to undercut the 6. But the question's going to be, how big will the gap be, and can Caps make it up? 2 laps at Darlington is a lot of time. It may not feel like it, but it is a lot of time. Caps, right side. A little bit slow on the left side as Caps, not the best stop I don't think, as Goforth made up some time. Richard Johnson has gone way past the 6 of Caps. And Caps, he is going to lose several spots from the lead. That's the gamble they took. But that, I think, was a lot more time than they thought they were going to lose. I tell you what, maybe the big winner here is Lane Sanders at 97. He's up to 5th now. A lightning pit stop from the 97 team, and I think also they may have pitted early, but still. And Sanders gets into the back of Vargas, and they hold it together. Barely. But now Dom Caps, the 6th car, is now in 6th, and he's going to have some work to do. And right now, Richard Johnson, who has now put the 69 of Sebastian Kukala on a lap down. But he now has a 3.5 second lead over second in points, Nick Breeding. A good pits, by the way, a good stop from the Rodriguez camp. Something they've kind of been inconsistent over this season. But a good stop for the 9 team to get them up into 2nd here. Now let's check pit stop times real quick. As, whoa, the 83, hold on, before we even sniff that, okay. The 83 of Dylan Poteet, a 50-second stop. For Dylan Poteet, what on earth happened? Let's take a look on pit road here. God, please don't wreck by it. Please don't wreck when I'm looking at this. I'm praying. So something happened. Poteet must have gotten some damage somewhere, but no. Nothing was wrong. I think they just had issues getting the car refired up. So Poteet, that is a massive problem there. There was no damage. The 64 of Sam England. Now this isn't surprising. Remember, he was in the wall on the first lap. So him losing time on pit road makes sense because they had to spend time fixing it. But that has now put the 64 up, down to 35th. And you can see the difference here. Dom Caps. My mouse is invisible, I can't show it. Dom Caps with a 17.36 pit stop there. So a lot of time lost compared to, especially Kukla with an 18-second stop. Some very large differences in times here. So Richard Johnson, what was his stop here? Probably blind and missing it. 15.92, so A lot of time lost on pit road here. So Poteet has lost a lap here, and he is about to go 2 laps down, perhaps. But remember, Richard Johnson pitted first, so he has the oldest tires in the field at the moment. So he is going to be at the mercy of anyone who pitted after him. Bradley Bishop Jr. now up to second place as he got past Breeding. Christian Vargas now up to third, looking for second from the 11. And here comes Caps. Caps is already making up some time here. He got past Lane Sanders to get back into the top 5. But Caps is going to have 3 cars to pass in 4.2 seconds of time to make up his... So we got a problem! Stuart Grant in the 16 has gone up in smoke! Can Grant make it back to pit lane? The 16 has erupted. Oh boy. I think Grant should make it back. But that is a tough break for Stewart. And now all of a sudden, Richard Johnson, Bradley Bishop Jr., and Malik Nevins, I think they might be sweating just a little bit now because that is a bad look. I don't think that smoke was what either Richard or Bradley wanted to see. Neither Malik. As here comes Caps right now. He is hauling it right now with those fresh tires. So he's made his way past Breeding. He's gone past Vargas, and now he's got Bishop Jr. in front of him here. Now Bishop Jr. has a very good reason to not get out of the way here. So this should be maybe slightly difficult. Gap has gone down from 4.2 to 3.6, so Caps is gaining. But he's still got some work to do here. Ryan Butcher up to 7th right now, the highest running Shea Beniaco racing car. As we are just past halfway here at Darlington. Excuse me. So Butcher in 7th right now, doing a really good job here. This A team has just been so inconsistent this year, but this is the type of run they need. Cody Goforth, who pitted the same lap that Dom Caps did, he lost some time, but he currently runs in 8th. Corey Williams, your points leader, running in 9th, and this is the battle for 10th right here. Elson and Malik Nevins going at it for the spot. And Nevins swarms past the 93 to get in the top 10. And they've got company. Here comes Jeff James from the back of the field looking to crack the top 10. And he's going to have Beal make a run up the inside of the 91. Beal to the bottom here. Caps has climbed up to 2nd, so he's now on the charge to Richard Johnson. As Beal now goes past Jeff James to slow down James's run here. Eric Rodriguez from the back of the field recovering to a top 15 at the moment. Tyler Commons holds 15th, trying to hold that. And what would be a very nice night for him. And Dylan Young up to 17th in the 57. Wow, what a run for Young. This is exactly what LFM brought Dylan Young in for. A respected veteran with success, and he's currently got this team in the top 20 on pace at the moment. So that's your top 20. Caps has taken about a second off of the chunk of Richard Johnson. Now, what's not going to help is that if Sebastian Kukulon passes the 10, that's going to cost him some time. So, confirmation, the 16 of Graden had a camshaft problem. So, tough break for Graden. Take a look at his back of the field. Gatlin Downey struggling in this 12 car. Downey sits top 10 in points, and that's going to be in danger here at the run he's having right now. This 12 team has just completely missed the setup this weekend. Carmona in the 1. Got that fuel problem from practice fixed, but not exactly, I think, what she was hoping for tonight. And Stinson, man, 37th after such a strong qualifying effort, too. That's got to be really disappointing. 2.7. What will it be at the line? 2.5. 2/10 taken off the gap here. And we're about 10 laps from the final pit stops here. So Caps is making up the time. But I think what's helping Richard right now is he's got draft with Kukulon pushing him along. So I think that's kind of helping Richard. But at the same time, if Kukulon gets impatient and wants to make the pass, that's not going to help him. As it stands right now, Sebastian Kukulon is the lucky dog should a caution come out. And Turner is now coming to pit road. He may have a problem in the 99. Tire down on the 99. Turner has ran the 99 too hard, I think. Basically, I think the tire blew. So Turner has to come to pit road early. And I don't think he's going to be able to run the rest of the night on this stop here. He's going to have to pit, I think, one last time. So tough break for Turner and his race defense of trying to win here in the Hardee's National Series again is not going to happen tonight, I don't think, unless something drastic happens. Another 2/10 taken off the board. Caps has cut the gap roughly in half, but I think he really needs to catch a little bit quicker than he is right now. Collins struggling. They're still in Pote. He is a lap down. Now, you're for Pote. You want Kukulon to make that pass, because right now, that's separating him from a lucky dog position. Is Kukulon just hanging behind the 14? I mean, the 10. Joshua Michaels in a 75 was running in the top 20 for a while, but is now down to 29. And where is Tim Fiegel in the 87 here? He's sitting a bit further up the track in 19th, so at the moment the top 30 Norris points is in danger for Little Falls Motorsports unless Michaels can make some passes here. Commons getting left out to dry. He's going to lose several spots here in the 44. They're running top 10 in the opening stint. That's got to be a little bit disappointing for Commons. Meanwhile, a war is taking place inside the top 10 as Malik Nevins makes around the 97. Sanders looks like he tried to throw a block and it didn't work. And Sanders now in danger of falling outside the top 10 here. Butcher up to 5th in the 8 car. Goforth is starting to make up some places after pitting early. Nick Breeding in 9th. Trying to stay ahead of Corey. That's all you can do at this point. Gap down to 1.79. And if you really think about it, if you look at the difference in pit stops here, Richard Johnson ran about a 15.8 stop compared to the 17-second stop that Caps had. So if you equalize the pit stops, I think Caps would at least be on Richard Johnson's bumper right now. So right now, the difference between the lead was that pit stop. That Team Velocity crew is going to be kicking themselves. I misspoke. Breeding is in 4th. I got the 4 and 14 confused. Breeding is 4th in the 9, and then you have Corey Williams number 14 in the 9, so all the numbers mixed me up. I apologize. I made a mistake. Sue me. .5 second gap here. That 6 team is going to be kicking themselves. If they can't catch Richard Johnson by the end of tonight, that pit stop is going to be what was the difference. Corey trying to get past Vargas here. This is big for his points to get past Vargas here as Jeff James threw it in on Lane Sanders. Sanders is dropping hard, but remember, he undercut it, so it's not surprising, to be honest, but they're going to have to hope that that drop-off isn't as severe at the end of tonight here. We are expecting pit stops at any second here. Pit road has not gone busy yet, but we expect that will change soon. And here we go. Final stops of the night. Richard Johnson got the lead and got a gap from pitting early, and he's going to do it again. I'm surprised Caps did not try to undercut back. Breeding undercuts himself as well, so he's taking a bit of a risk here as well. So, and oh, Sanders with a problem. The 97's engine has blown. Sanders had lost pace towards the end of the run. I don't think it was a tire. I think the engine blew again. Are you kidding me? The second race in a row that Sanders has blown up. During the lead up to this race, Sanders was very vocal and very upset about the performances of this car, and that is a massive hit to Sanders after what's been a tough several months. Here comes Caps from second to pit lane. TPR with 2 of their 3 cars with a problem. And Corey Williams, he's going to stay out long. So Corey, he's going to give us some track position here. But this is a gamble for the lead or for a late run. Kind of an aggressive call, considering the position he's in. But it is Corey Williams after all. There's Turner. He's off cycle, so Noah Hart is coming to pit road. Here's a couple guys who also stayed out. Reed. And oh, Richard Johnson. He had to slam the brakes to not hit Ryan Reed. That's going to cost him time. So Richard Johnson in the 10. He should regain the lead quite easily here. Next time around, he should come around to Caps, so we'll see the difference here between those 2 pit stops. So we're approaching 23 laps to go here at Darlington. We're looking for Caps here. Where is the 6 of Dom? I don't think he's come out of pit road yet. Or at least if he has. Nope. Okay, he has come out of pit road. My apologies. I forgot he pitted 1 lap earlier. It's Corey Williams that we're looking to see where he merges from. And the 9 of Breeding. I think Breeding's got a problem. The 9 of Breeding's got an issue. Second in points. Nick Breeding with a problem. Oh no. A massive hit in the title hunt for Nick Breeding. What has gone wrong on the 9? The engine with a problem. Right as he came off of pit road. You have got to be kidding me. Corey Williams just got thrown a bone, and oh my goodness. The worst possible time for an engine failure after such a strong night for breeding. Oh. And now all of a sudden, that decision to stay long, that may not have been a bad idea, to be honest. Because now Corey can basically just drive as hard as he can. Now granted, he has fallen to 11th. But still. Now the question remains, now Jeff James and Christian Vargas are ahead of him though, so Corey is losing points to some guys in the top 4 in points right now, but breeding, he was kind of the main guy, and that hurt. That hurt so bad. 20 laps to go. Jeff James and Christian Vargas now have a big mission, and that's to hold on for dear life. They need to finish ahead of that 14. There is no other option here. Well, while we have a moment, let's take a look at the pit stop differences here. Breeding 43 seconds on pit road. I'm not sure if they're even bringing the car back out on track at this point. Sanders with a 76-second stop to do what they could for the car, but is he back out there is the question. And Arya Carmona, 13.89. Sam England with a 19.86. That's kind of slow for what Sparn usually pulls off. Nothing too crazy besides the ones who have had problems tonight. Griffin Lapo McDermott will get back on the lead lap. He puts himself past the 10 to get him back in this. Well, at least to get him back in this in case of a late caution. 97, so these are the mechanical problems reporting in. Lane Sanders with a gearbox, so I think maybe he misshifted. That may have been the problem. That may have not even been the engine. I think Sanders may have just accidentally misshifted the car, trying to get back onto the racing surface. And breeding with an ignition problem. Man. Where do you even begin with this? 15 laps to go at the line. Joseph Srigley Racing holds a 1-2 lead at the moment with Richard Johnson at the front and Bradley Bishop Jr., who is now losing time because the lapped car brigade has arrived. And here comes Ryan Butcher up to second place here. This is for second. Tell you what, Butcher he's been moving tonight. He's been slowly working his way through this top 10, and he's now up to second. This is the best run Butcher has had probably since Kentucky. And they got to be feeling really good right now. 2.9 seconds behind Richard Johnson is quite a lot to ask for. But to be honest, I don't even think the time is the problem. I think the time is just going to be these lap cars because Richard Johnson's basically got a bubble sitting behind him. This race has taken some twists and turns tonight, and the ways I don't think anyone really expected. Now keep in mind, Richard did pit first, so again, oldest tires. So he is going to be slower than a couple of these guys. Here's Sam England. He's trying to get, I think, one of his laps back. Well, to get back on the lead lap, excuse me. Still have not been able to really make up the time here. And you have to remember, Jesse turned to 99. He's a bit slow at the moment. He's off cycle. He's actually going to have to pit probably within the next 5 to 10 laps here. Well, actually, no, less than that. He's not going to be able to make it. And the problem is Turner, he's kind of hurting second and third and fourth here. And fifth. And sixth. Because now Nevins and Goforth have caught. So right now there's no battle for a lead, but there is a battle for survival here as, ooh, Bishop and Downey get together and Butcher tried to make it 3. And Nevins took advantage. If someone can get past Turner, please. 10 laps to go here at Darlington. And Richard Johnson still your leader. Turner basically just threw him a massive bone because now the gap went from 2 seconds to 3.6 with lap cars separating them. Although Sam England, he really wants that lap back. But he just can't seem to get it there. I think the damage that he accrued on that opening sequence is just... Ever since they fixed... I mean, actually, the car's gotten worse since they fixed it, to be perfectly honest. But you can see a difference in speed. Richard's got no corner exit speed right now. He is struggling off the exits right now, but you have to imagine he's also maybe taking it a little bit easy. 3.6 seconds to work with here. There's no point in rushing anything. Let's get a quick update from the back here. Or, well, wherever you call the back here. Joshua Michaels in the 75 has moved up to back to 21st, but still behind Fiegel. Fiegel's having a really strong night tonight, running in 12th. Looking for a top 10 finish. So Michael's doing what he can here. And look at this. Oh, Richard, he got swept by the lap cars here, and now all of a sudden he's lost half the time. The gap has fallen from 3.6 to 1.4. My fault for missing that one. Did not expect that one. But now all of a sudden, things just got complicated. And Kukulon's gone past. Kukulon finally got past him. It took that long. 5 laps to go at Darlington. Caps takes out 2/10 in the chunk. He's going to need a little bit more than that, though. Caps up to second, trying to make up for what has been a tough night for the Team Velocity pit crew. This would be a heroic drive if he could somehow catch him. Malik Nevins, Bradley Bishop Jr., 2 of the other JSR cars in the top 5. And besides Gran, it's been a tough night. Well, besides Gran, who had a really bad problem, JSR has had an extraordinary night. I can't speak tonight. Cody Goforth in 5th, looking for another top 5. 1 second is the gap here. And Richard Johnson, he has some draft, which is helping him with Kukulon. 3 laps to go here at Darlington. Richard Johnson looking for his first win in the Hardee Series. The gap goes down to 0.8. If Caps can just get the draft of the 10, we may have a race here. And you gotta imagine what Caps is thinking. They've lost so much time on pit road. This shouldn't even be a battle. Here comes Caps down. He's making some runs here. We're coming to 2 laps to go. Can Caps catch him in time? He's cut it in half to 0.4. Caps has got something here for Richard Johnson, but he needs to get to the back bumper. Caps throws it in deep. Here he comes. He's got to run on the 10 of Johnson. To the white flag. Caps is going to make the run. Unbelievable. Caps is going to go through. Tom Caps in the 6 for Team Velocity from Mitsubishi. They made up the gap. Are you kidding me? Caps makes the pass on the white flag. Coming off at turn 4. Dom Caps, Team Velocity in Mitsubishi will win in the Hardee's National Series for the first time in an incredible last lap finish. Richard Johnson dominated tonight, but Caps, thanks to some lap traffic, and granted, Caps and Richard both went through lap traffic. They both had to suffer. But Caps made up a second and passed him in less than 3 laps. I have never seen anything like that before. What a run from Caps. And that will give every manufacturer a win, as Joseph Strigley Racing 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The best run that team's ever had. But that has got to be so disappointing for Richard Johnson. He was there. He had it. But lap traffic was the difference. Unbelievable. Now I'm going to do this before I forget. I'm not even testing this. We're just doing this now. We're not waiting. I'm not reading the results until I type this all out. Damn it. The 3rd one. Yeah, that's right. Anyways, post-race. Ignore that. Dom Caps is your winner as Mitsubishi scores the first win in their Hardee's National Series career with Team Velocity and Dom Caps at the helm. An incredible finish there. Richard Johnson comes across 2nd. Nevins, Bishop, Jr. What a drive for Nevins, by the way, up to 3rd. And Joseph Strigley Racing goes 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. What a night. Cody Goforth, top 5 again. How about Goforth, man? Another top 5 finish for Single Z Racing in what has been a great year for them. Ryan Butcher finishes 6th. Fortunately, he fell back after being in 2nd. Christian Vargas and Jeff James, they finish ahead of Corey Williams. And while the points will be very minimal help here, it's still better than nothing. And they pulled off at least something against the 14 after basically everything went right for them. Beal finishes 10th. But check out this 11th through 20th. Ellison 11th. Fiegel 12th with a great run. Marchese recovers to 13th. He was outside the top 30 at one point. Eric Rodriguez recovers from a tough qualifying effort to come up to 14th. Shearer, Yepes, they make up the time they lost. Lassard also had a tough night at first, but they recovered. But check out this for Little Falls Motorsport. Dylan Young and Joshua Michaels, 16th and 18th, as LFM scores their first ever dual top 20 finish. And how about Young? He had to hold off Kev Shear, by the way. So let's take a look at this real quick. This is 2 laps to go here. I get this isn't that important, but Kev Shear, look at it. He throws it in so deep into Young. But Young, the longtime Cup veteran, He just pins the 0 off the exit. And Joshua Michaels and Young both, in terms of raw pace, this might have been Little Falls Motorsports' best ever night. And what a performance to hold off some very quick cars. They're taking some steps this year, man. It's really exciting. Holding off Kev Shear is an impressive feat in that car. Ryan Reed finishes 21st. That's actually a really good finish considering how the last couple of races have gone. Amvra Nice, 22nd. Dylan Schwalmberg, he did what he could, but I think there are some issues over at Fisher Motorsports that are going to need more than just drivers to resolve. Collins recovers to 24th after a tough night. But TPR, oof. Best finisher is Hardee Bishop with 25th, and Sanders and Turner ended up with problems. And Turner did not get the caution he needed after having a tire failure. Commons was running top 10 for a while, but unfortunately fell down onto 27th. Sam England had a good race going at first, but unfortunately that damage took its toll as the night went on. Boyles, Stinson, Kukulon round out the cars who finished on the lead lap. Carmona, Downey, and Poteet all finished a lap down. Poteet had a terrible 50-second stop, which cost him. And Turner finishes 2 laps down after a tire problem. Nick Breeding, Sanders, and Gran all had mechanical failures. Gran had a camshaft failure early in the race. Lane Sanders, unfortunately, had a misshift towards the end, and Nick Breeding had an ignition problem right after the final pit stops. Well, that will just about wrap things up here for the FBRL Hardee's National Series here at Darlington. Thank you all for tuning in for the first ever HNS live stream. Hope people had fun. And I'll be posting points and other important stuff in the Discord HNS headlines here in a couple minutes. And I'm sure Sir Wrigley someday in a couple of days will get the owner's points depending on how he's feeling. But thank you all for tuning in. Congratulations to Dom Caps and Mitsubishi and Team Velocity for their first win of the year. It's the first win for the manufacturer. And, man, what a finish. Just absolutely stole it from Richard Johnson. An incredible finish. Now, we'll take a look at the pass here before we cut, because I think that's fair. And that'll do it. Caps made up multiple car links in one corner. Very, very impressive.